This is Rapha Cafe in Bacolod City. No? Bacolod? In Bacolod?
Don Salvador.
Don Salvador. Hi, welcome to City Talk and City Walk. And on a Sunday afternoon like this, we're here in Salvador Benedicto. Other than the panoramic cities here, we do have a unique place for health and wellness destination. And this is the creation of one who's truly committed to alternative medicine and health and wellness. Friends, we welcome to our show Dr. Albert Ho. Hi,
Hi.
Dr. Albert.
Good afternoon.
Yes, and we were here many years ago when you were just starting to operationalize your vision. But what gave birth to this vision?
It was a challenge to me that as a doctor, I wanted to cure myself with rheumatic heart asthma and hypertension. So I have, in studying medicine, Hippocrates, the first doctor, inspired me about his word that let your food be your medicine. So I took the challenge 17 years ago. I changed my lifestyle little by little so that you will be enjoying your going to the destiny to wellness. So first I did tie up with Jordan Robin Health Institute.
Where is that?
In Kentucky.
Yes.
And then after my lesson learned from there, I changed all the ingredients into Filipino so that it will be at reach by most of the people, especially the lower strata of society who frequently get sick. So from that time on up to now, at 61 right now, I am not taking anything. The Panadol injection every month was out already, plus my Ventolin spray for my asthma. And
Prophylaxis mo.
oo, the antihypertensive drugs was already gone. And right now, I'm living with full supplement of plants in my surroundings because God has given us everything in our surroundings to heal us. That's why...
that's in Genesis.
Yes.
Original.
Yes.
God has given us herbs and seeds.
For our meat, actually.
For
Genesis
our
1:29.
That was before the fall.
Yes. But most of the people right now are eating a lot of meat. And the practices that we are doing right now, like when you eat mongo, you add pork. So it's protein plus protein equals protein overload, which causes overload of uric acid. And then we develop arthritis.
Mongo is high in uric acid.
Yes, but mongo you can do away with uric acid by soaking 6 to 12 hours, 5 changes of water, and then do not add pork. You add squash, you add your lupo, which is studied right now in the United States.
Lupo is in English.
Lupo is the scientific name, Ludwigia polycarpa, but people cannot pronounce, so they get the first 2 letters and the next syllable was the next 2 letters. So
ang ganina daw hila mo
Ludwigia polycarpa. Ano na daw hila mo? Lupo.
May isa pang ngalan na in English.
I don't know sa
Okay.
English.
Anyway, it will
but
come
that,
to me. Okay, it will come to
that
me.
is the example, no? Like goto cola is in just
Goto
your
cola.
surroundings. It's very good for memory. Rosemary herb is studied to be very good.
Antidepressant.
Yeah. And then you have your...
You have rosemary here.
Yes.
It grows.
That's very abundant because of the weather, elevation, plus low water, less water. And then, for dengue, I use oregano because it's a research of Dr. Martindale. The rosmarinic acid
This is the oregano with the big leaves,
Yes,
not
yes.
the small ones.
It's the same all.
Marjoram.
All of them has rosmarinic acid.
Yeah.
You know, the
So
basil and the oregano. It's
Drives the mosquitoes away.
not only that, but it is very good for, because dengue is a virus. So it's very good. I have tried it already.
You don't need Dengbaxia vaccine.
For adults, you take 2 tablespoons every 4 hours. For children,
Ginpuga.
purely squeezed.
Ako man sa mga tumandok, you know, sa uma,
No.
puga nila.
No.
Or gina-broil, ginaihaw ang dahon.
Well, basta pugaon mo lang siya
Pugaon
fresh.
lang. Oo.
Okay, good siya. Oregano.
Oo.
And it's very high antioxidant. Like 7 leaves of oregano is 42 apples equivalent. 30
Wow.
potatoes, 12 oranges, half a cup of blueberry, and 4
Is
carrots.
that easy to grow?
Yeah, very easy to grow.
Just
It's
grows wild?
mostly in the backyards of all the people because they use it for cough. But it's
What
antibacterial.
can people expect by coming up here? And I understand you have casitas or small houses where they can check in and stay for 1 or 2 or 3 days, what have you.
What we can offer our guests is rest, relaxation, distressing. That's what we do. So we serve them good food, which are healthy, and they relax. So
Some of which we will try later on and we'll show you.
our rooms has tapes that are laughter. So
Soothing.
because that's one of the that will give curing effect for cancer, laughter.
What's your name? Rooms that have laughter tapes?
No, yeah, we have
Jokes? You
Yeah.
mean you have
tape
Tape.
in
yung sound?
in the television you can watch about
mga
jokes,
and
laugh-
funny things.
funny.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I advise them for cancer who are resting here, we advise them 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours
After.
in the afternoon.
We've been laughing whole day.
And that's really good because even in the Bible it says laughter is the best
Yeah.
medicine.
Okay.
Enjoying life.
Yeah. So, in your journey towards health and wellness that started with your own health condition, what has been the high point and the low point?
Actually, changing a lifestyle is not by force. That's what I advise people. That's why our tagline here is your destiny to wellness. It should be an enjoyable journey. You have to enjoy life. So, the changes that you will do is as you feel good, you change more. Like when my attacks of asthma is so frequent. So when
It was triggered by allergies more than
it was.
DNA.
It's more of the allergy type of asthma. So when I do away with all the American food that is tainted with GMO, with
Growth
preservatives, growth hormones, and all of that, I suddenly experienced that it's not as frequent as it is. So as I feel good, I change more. So with
That
the
was
diet,
the incentive. Parang stimulus response.
yes, that you will be enjoying your journey to wellness when you are feeling good.
It's not a sense of deprivation
Oh,
because
yes.
usually people when they go vegetarian, they feel like you have to
Deprive.
forgo, you have to deprive yourself.
Yeah, but it's wrong because when you deprive yourself, you feel deprived and you will be depressed. So the immune system goes down and it gives another kind of sickness. so what we do,
Hyperacidity.
yes. So what we do is we explain to people that as they feel goal, they change more, so that they have like an incentive, a goal. So when you reach your goal, you will be enjoying more, isn't it? Because you feel good. So that's what we do.
And what was your low point? Did you ever have any low point?
Because you
This
know.
needs capital. I mean, to develop a place like this is about 3 hectares.
Seven. So that's why we go slow. We are very,
okay.
very slow in our development because
And it has taken you how many years for you to reach this point?
about 9 years. Because you know we have in Negros we put in a lot of capital,
Yes.
usually in a business, and sometimes it flops, like the prawn industry.
Yeah, millions.
So after that thing that happened to me about the prawn
That was your
industry,
dad's project.
no, it's my project really.
Your own,
Yes.
yeah.
So after that, so we have to go slow. We have to go slow in.
And sourcing of capital, because those who are watching would be wondering, did you have to borrow money from the bank? Or
we go by by,
as the capital is
yes.
made. You know, I call that's my own principle of development. NDD. You know what NDD means? No debt development. So, my pace of development is determined by capital availability.
Yes. Okay, because it creates stress.
Yeah.
If you are developing a wellness place,
You shouldn't
the
have
owner should not be stressed. That's why a lot of people are coming here to partner with me, but I always refuse because if you put a lot of
Structures,
places in other places like Tagaytay, there was one time a dentist who came here offering me to partner in Tagaytay. So I said it will not be wellness for me anymore. What you really enjoy and I enjoy most is to share the knowledge. So what I enjoy is traveling to different parts of the Philippines and abroad when I'm invited and then sharing to people. That's really what gives me energy when I can share the knowledge that was given to me.
I know that feeling. Yeah. It's the ultimate sense of fulfillment. The sense of fulfillment, especially when you see the fruits in other people's lives.
Yes. Like one farm that was because of my years, like 5 years ago, I did a lecture in Tarlac, and there was a guy who was in that lecture, and he has only 2,500 square meters area in Zambales. And after my lecture, not even coming to this place, he just take it as it is with the lecture, develop the place. Right now, I was surprised when I visited Zambales together with the ABS Foundation. They surprised me that this guy has now the Journey Farm. With the name is Journey Farm. Journey Farm in
Which
Iba
part of
Zambales.
Iba?
Iba Zambales.
Is it the mountains or lowland?
No, it's a lowland. It's just outside the city. It's 2,500 square meter, but it is very sustainable. And he planted everything also. Right now, he is accepting. He is funded by Agricultural Training Institute, and he accepts also already visitors in his farm. So that is really inspiring too.
And to think that in the early beginning we journeyed together. His family, the Sorianos, was of course him. I brought them to the Guerrero farm, our Shalom, and wow, he has made so many leaps beyond that.
Yeah. I was inspired by visiting also farms, that has the same advocacy. So I learned also from all of these travels and all of these visitations that I did to other farms.
Let's there was a recent controversy involving Dr. Farah
Okay.
in Tarlac, isn't it? And she was made to appear like a quack doctor, but she has hundreds of cancer patients whose only hope is what she's offering. Now, you seem to be going into the same direction. How safe is that? I mean,
Actually, what was with Dr. Farah is she developed concoctions that unsells it. That's why I'm very
concoctions that are
that she developed concoctions and then sell it. Mine is different. I don't go that way. Mine is I just teach people how to make it, and they have to do it on their own.
and it's
That's what I-
fresh.
and it's fresh. She has her own,
Laboratory.
the FDA shuns you of doing all these concoctions without their approval. So you have to, what I do is I just teach people to make their own food. I'm
Okay.
not selling anything.
Okay, and along that line, you have handled some cancer patients, right?
Yes.
Here, you brought. did they
No,
come?
actually they come here, I teach them.
Then they
That-
go back.
They go back and
Okay.
do it. So
Yeah.
that's what they do.
Yeah. So, friends, you can come here and learn from Dr. Ho on how to process your own raw kind of alternative med, which is natural food.
Yes.
Natural food altogether.
Yeah, because we advocate on your food is your medicine.
And you, cancer has become epidemic. Okay.
Yes.
And we can trace it to the kind of, as you were saying, as food, natural food is medicine, so modern food has become toxic and the source really of so many of these 21st century diseases and almost plague-like, because it's become really epidemic.
Yes.
So let's talk about another passion of yours, which is actually proactive measure to prevent having cancer, and that is the slow cooking.
Yes.
Slow cooking. Explain it to us.
Because in slow cooking, number one, a lot of our food is demineralized. That means lack in minerals. So I always tell the people if they can get hold, for example, of a cookware that mineralizes. One of the most very common is clay pots.
Yung palayok.
Ang palayok. Because clay pots made of clay.
Yeah.
And it has all the minerals in there. When you hit the clay, it releases the minerals into your
This
food.
is the traditional clay, because if you go to the market now, yung shortcut na naman na clay pots so-called, but they mix it with other chemicals.
They clay pot with cement inside, but that's not.
We
No,
make clay.
that's why it has to be pure clay.
We
Actually,
produce in Ilocos.
because when you sometimes if they don't have an oven, they burn it with hay, so they have to add sand, not knowing that the sand has silica, and when you hit the silica, the sand silica, it releases the lead into
Oh my
your food.
Which is also, yung burnay, you're familiar with burnay.
I do.
The Ilocos antique pot, which
Yes,
is used for making bagoong. That has sand. And it's pretty Hispanic pa with the Chinese brought it
The
here.
ones that I buy in Iloilo, they really when they
It's really clay.
mix it, because of the they have this they call it masa, as they mold first, mix the clay, and before shaping it into a pot, it releases the sand, It releases the sand out.
So it has to be this traditional way of
Yeah.
making pots.
Yes.
And it's still available in the market.
Yes, it's available in Iloilo.
Not in Negros, I think.
Because usually in Negros, the problem is
Shortcut.
they put sand on it
Yeah.
to like to harden it fast
Yeah.
by burning it with the hay. So in Iloilo they have these big ovens that they burn it for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Daw hinay-hinay ang
The
pag-burn.
slow cooking, slow pot making.
Yes.
Yeah. So if one cannot avail, because our show is also uploaded in YouTube. If one cannot avail of clay pots, then what's the option?
You cast iron is good also.
Cast
The pure
iron.
cast iron is the next.
Yung French na ano yung slow cooking na heavy
Oh.
iron. Then of course you have yung mga expensive na
Stainless steel na high.
salad master,
Yeah, but
or lifeline.
So we use also high-grade stainless steel for our 30-minute cooking. But usually for the tours, it's pre-ordered food, so we use clay pots.
So never aluminum.
Never aluminum.
Why?
Because aluminum, when you heat the aluminum, it releases the aluminum particles and it goes to your brain. That's the cause of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
So not even
the
to
aluminum foil.
foil, yeah, I was going to
That's
that.
why in Rapha,
Yeah.
our practice is to put always banana leaf. We wrap everything in banana leaf. Even when you
Broil.
when you cannot finish your food and you bring it out,
Yeah.
you will be surprised when you arrive home that all our food is wrapped in banana leaf.
Yeah, because even if you just use the aluminum for wrapping, can you not taste when you go home that time
Oh.
parang yung can
Oh.
taste. Oh. So just explain to us what slow cooking is. So you use clay pot or high grade stainless steel.
And you use low fire. And you time the placing of the vegetables. Like for example, when you do laswa, that's the Negros vegetable.
Dinengdeng
Dinengdeng,
for Ilocanos.
What we do is the high heat will be with squash because squash is like heat stable siya. So as the squash disintegrate and mix with your sauce, with your soup, you tone down already your fire 50%. And
When you say low fire, it is on a scale of 1 to 10. Yung sa heat, it's 3 or 4 or 5.
hindi ko maano.
Intensity.
Basta as you boil you boil the squash, after boiling the squash, after it disintegrates, you lower 50%. And then, your pre-soaked okra, your pre-soaked sitaw, and your pre-soaked eggplant for 3 hours, that will go away with the uric acid. You take it out from the water and you put it there in a 50%. So, simmer na lang.
Simmer.
As it changes the color, the vegetable are still crunchy. You put it off, and then that's the time you add your leaves.
Yung tugabang or
Your whatever leaf
Sa
you're
luyo.
adding and then do not cover anymore. That's the time you eat. So that's how we make it.
So,
That's the slow.
you
You
cannot-
do not destroy the enzyme. You preserve as much as possible the enzymes of the vegetables.
So it's not really advisable to reheat leftover.
Of course, especially
Laswa.
mushrooms.
Especially mushroom.
Yes,
Why?
because it releases toxins the more you
Okay.
reheat.
Yung mushroom na fresh.
Yeah. And
Even this Chinese
the
shiitake.
dried mushroom. That's why, for example, if
So-
you're reheating the pizza again, you have to take away the mushrooms and add it again after you have reheated your pizza.
So now, here, Dr. Albert. So we have here the lemongrass with
Freshly squeezed.
freshly squeezed lemongrass with cucumber.
No, it's a pure lemongrass.
Pure
I think
lemongrass.
Pure lemongrass with calamansi. Because the research of Israel, Ben Gurion University of Israel, you do not heat the
Here.
The lemongrass, the citral is preserved. The citral is the one that...
Also, you didn't boil the lemongrass.
No.
It's
just
infusion.
soak in water overnight, and
Uh-huh.
then the next day you pass it to a juicer, a slow juicer, or pound in mortar and pestle.
With
and,
lemon.
And then squeeze in the cheesecloth.
No lemon. There's no lemon here. No sugar
Calamansi.
either. No
Calamansi.
sugar either.
May sugar na? Very low.
Muscovado.
No, we use honey.
Honey.
Because honey is the only alkaline sugar. It does not acidify your body. And
But Muscovado is healthy, raw sugar.
yes, but the Muscovado that passed the standards of the European is also the Anini Antique. Because Muscovado in Negros, sorry to say, I'm from Negros, it is fertilized. A lot of and right now, because...
Auto trade, it's supposed to be organic. Auto trade.
Okay. No comment.
That's what I buy because I went to their meeting.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be supplied by
Organic farmers.
small farmers who
Okay.
are agrarian reform beneficiaries.
But Anini Antique used to process it naturally
Yung
with the
naturally
carabao.
carabao.
And then they have the planters that doesn't use really fertilizer, or they use only organic fertilizers. Especially now that we are into build thing, that Negros right now is using a lot of weed killer, which is glyphosate. Another thing.
Arsenic.
No, glyphosate.
Glyphosate means
yeah.
more is carcinogenic.
More carcinogenic.
To kill the weeds.
To kill the
We
weeds.
decide. Oh my
To kill the
goodness.
weeds.
Okay, so tell us, what is this?
This is our Volcan Canlaon.
So it looks like a volcano.
It's cassava base, no? Cassava base, grated cassava, dried,
Wow.
and mold it with chocolate and
Cacao. Fresh cacao. Is it fermented cacao?
No, it is tablea.
Yeah.
We use organic tablea of Bohol, and then our cream here is coconut cream because all our cream here in Rapha Valley is coconut. We don't use any animal dairy.
Wow.
And then this is sugared with honey. And
You produce your own honey?
no, we buy honey from the local farmers, but we have also 20 boxes of bees in Manapla. And then this one is our
That's
calamansi square.
That's banana leaf.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
banana
we
leaf.
use
Calamansi
banana leaf.
square. It's a little bit sour because it tastes the taste of calamansi. It is the same cassava
Oh,
base.
okay.
The other one is our coco de leche. It's gata, mold in agar-agar. We don't use
natural
gelatin na Nox, like for
Yeah,
example Nox, because it's animal.
Is
Yes.
this thing sold in the market?
Yes.
Yung gulaman?
Oo, gulaman.
O gulaman.
Ano na siya.
Because
And then
yung mga
pinipig.
North, meron na yung
ang-
chemical additives.
And ang for example, some of it is some of that is animal tendon na ang kinausap.
Ah, really?
Yes, Nox gelatin is
But animal tendon has medicinal value, di ba? Sa
Yes,
joints.
but if you feed them with corn that is GMO,
Ah, yeah.
it goes the GMO thing goes to the fat. So it goes always. The research also of America, all of this GMO thing goes to the
Yeah.
fat and dairy products.
The cows are meant to eat grass, but
Yeah.
what's happening in factory cow farming is that there's many chamber, the digestive system is designed
To eat
for
Ay, sorry.
grass.
herbs and grasses.
So if you come here, friends, be ready to eat flour salad, to eat this type of food. But you do have your own brand of pizza, right?
Yes, it's cassava dough.
You make your own dough.
Yes, it's cassava with herbs.
With herbs. What
Yeah.
herbs do you use?
I use rosemary.
And basil.
Not basil. No, basil is the topping.
Topping.
Kaya ang rosemary is its staple siya.
Ah, okay.
So,
You need a fork.
guys, sila to tinito.
Take
Okay.
Fork. So we'll taste it. We'll have product tasting here. And by the way, the price comes with the entrance fee. If you order on a weekend,
It's $2.95.
$2.95. Consumable.
With your order.
Before, you have to go for that buffet. I remember that.
That's the $6.95 buffet for the tour.
That
15
includes the
people
tour.
na. 15 people minimum.
Yeah.
Per person.
So there is what you call this, a number required
Yeah,
for
because
that.
of all our workers comes some of my waiters and cooks comes from Bacolod.
All the way from Bacolod,
all the way
from Salvador.
Oh, okay, dire, in Salvador, I have to get, people who has knowledge in cooking and but my assistant cooks and some of my workers are from Salvador also. But the chef and like my waiters, they have to know because most of our customers are foreigners. They have to know how to explain when I'm not here yet. So they have to be experienced waiters.
So,
Okay man siya.
Miss Bim Bim, what do you observe about this? We're doing product testing here.
The food tastes good for me. Very organic. Very classy.
And what about our guest from Maui? How does it compare with Maui food in Hawaii?
As far as the sweetness is just right.
Okay, we don't
Yeah,
make it
it's
very
just perfect.
Yeah, you don't use, of course, white sugar.
wala gid. Kag even ang tanan ko yang food diri is honey. We use honey because honey is the only alkaline sugar and it's antibiotic in itself.
Very healthy.
What
For a
about,
wellness place, amo nang ako na I select the ingredients.
well, of course, honey can be locally sourced. I was thinking of maple syrup.
Wow. Because honey, you can also test if it is real or not. When the
Yeah.
ants don't come in your honey, it's pure. When it is sugared honey, ants will come. Because the pheromone, the smell of the bees,
It's
scares the ants. And usually they are enemies. So they will not come.
What about the crystallization? Is it
Crystallization,
crystallized?
actually honey does not crystallize, but there are lots of, sometimes for business purposes, when it's really long rainy season, they feed the bees with sugar. So, ang mga nag-develop ang crystallization.
So, nandadaya sila. They cheat because they feed them with sugar.
Okay, wala gani isang nectar. During the pag rainy days nga lawig, wala isang nectar. So, gina-feed nila to continue, Actually, kay the bees, usually, you consume the honey when there is no sugar, when there is no nectar. Because that's why when you raise bees, the second box on top is the one that you can harvest. The first box down is where they live. The second box is the reserve. So that's what they use. So when there is no nectar, they get it from there. So in order to continue producing honey as much as you want, you feed them with sugar. Pero ang ginakip nila sa taas, it's not anymore nectar, it's sugar.
I see. Now, so Miss Lily, what's your judgment? Do you have anything like this in Maui?
No, we don't.
Ate ko sa Maui, damo naman siya sa mga...
Health and wellness?
Oh.
Sa Hana side.
But actually, ang Bali is the first, ang silagitan sa Southeast Asia. But ang Maui is not part of Southeast Asia.
Hawaii.
Hawaii siya, yeah. So sa Southeast Asia, yeah, Bali ang number 1 with the health and wellness thing. Number 2 lang ang Philippines.
Negros has become the organic bowl of the Philippines, organic capital.
of the Philippines.
But several years ago, in the late 80s, we were the Biafra of the Philippines. You know, you have this emaciated image of a boy who died of malnutrition eventually. Abong, the Abong boy, remember that? And then all of this health and wellness, this movement towards organic farming started with the regime of Bitay Lacson, former Governor Bitay Lacson. When we, as a team, pushed for diversification because Negros was a monocrop economy. And if you took the plain in the 80s, you'll see it's either barren mountains or just grass, sugarcane. And from the late 80s on, there's been that steady, slow but steady movement towards organic farming. And of course, those that really push for it, you call the name of Maud Peñalosa, Sonia Sarosa, and of course later on the younger generation, see Dr. Albert Hona. We can write a history about organic farming, health and wellness development in Negros. So, what is it that you can advise our
Actually,
viewers on Sky Cable and YouTube?
So, if you don't want to spend all your retirement to doctor's fees and medicine, you better start now. Changing the lifestyle, little by little. I have seen it with my family, how they spend, my dad spent, about everything, and he died also after several years of diabetes, of COPD. So after that, and then with all the medicines that I took since childhood, because I was rheumatic heart and asthmatic, reading all the side effects of all these medications, I was scared to follow the footsteps. So as our family is diabetic, but at 61 right now, my sugar is okay, my cholesterol is okay, and I'm not a believer so much of genetics regarding diabetes. I'm a believer of you eat, okay? You're diabetic because you follow what your grandmother or father was eating.
And diabetes is reversible.
Yes.
With a radical change of lifestyle.
Yes, I have seen a lot. Reverse the diabetes and even cancer. Okay. One of my best example is Gina Lopez. In 8 months, she recovered from stage 3 to 0.
Wow.
This is cancer of the breast? Or?
Cancer of the breast.
Okay.
With guayabano, with lemongrass, with turmeric, with the booster dose of buko oregano malunggay, plus happy lifestyle, a positive attitude. All of that are contributory to a fast healing process.
And
Wow.
really, cancer is commonly rooted in all types of cancer in high stress
Yeah.
living.
Yes, high stress living and eating a lot of chemical tainted food, especially the meat. Because when your body is acidic, you are prone to
Cancer.
all kinds, not only cancer, but all kinds of diseases. That's why even our water in Rapha Valley, we serve alkaline water.
It's alcohol.
Yeah, all our water here is alkaline.
You have spring?
We have spring, but we have Kangen machine. But if you don't have the Kangen machine or Kangen machine, you can just squeeze one calamansi in every glass of water that you drink, because calamansi, lemon and lime families are very rich in alkaline salts.
Turn
when
them
it-
into alkaline.
Yeah, so when it enters your body, it changes into alkaline. Most of our water that we buy by reverse osmosis procedure or process is acidic.
So they call it mineral water. Well, we're blessed where we are because we have spring water.
Yes, we have a lot of spring in
Yeah.
Negros.
A lot of springs.
But the problem sometimes is, like when we were starting Rapha Valley, we pipe from about more than a kilometer.
Wow, that's long.
Yeah, and then from the spring, when it arrived here, it's already acidic. That's why
Because of the PVC pipe.
yeah, the pipes. So we opted to buy the machine. But if you can get hold of a nearby, put your wellness place in a nearby, very near the sources of
source.
spring,
Yeah.
that's the best.
Yeah. Well, last word, Dr. Albert. So that you can take a proactive measure to keep you from spending your hard-earned or saved retirement fund. You start now, as you said.
Yes.
Start now, meaning age 30, 40, 50, 60 is not even too late.
No, there is, I think there is no too late to change. Because in 3.5 years, if you want to change, you can change everything. God has promised us that there is regeneration if you follow His teachings.
So how much of your transformation from a sickly, asthmatic, rheumatic, asthmatic man to what you are now, a man with homeostasis, a state of balance in your body, not plagued with hypertension or diabetes, which was something familiar, you know, from your family line. How much of it also may be traced back to your own spiritual journey?
Actually, it is my spiritual life has helped me a lot in this journey, because when I studied, you know, about the scriptures, God repeatedly from Genesis to Revelation 700 scriptures about health, wellness, food, and what you have to really live a life that is, you know, not sick-free, but, you know, well all the time, most of the time. So, you know, one of my guides, that's why when I lecture, it is from the medical view and the biblical view. So I mix it. Because there are lots of scriptures, like for example in Proverbs it says honey, use honey. My son, use honey, for it is good for you.
What about my son Timothy, drink a little wine to help
Okay.
your digestive system?
Yes,
I'm paraphrasing.
it really helps, you know, because, and it's not, wine is very good because it's very low in alcohol content. And wine has been studied to be preserving your aging process because of the resveratrol in the wine, especially the red wine. So when you take it like 30 to 60 cc a
One
day,
glass a day.
yeah, 1 glass a day is
What,
good for you.
one wine glass a day. However, there's also the research finding now that many of our commercial red wine is high in arsenic because
And sulfites.
and sulfites, and they put it really there with sulfites.
So, you know, you have, that's why in Rapha, We have
Bugday wine.
it's not actually. We have sourced out organic wines here.
Like what?
Uh,
Tuba? Or
No, it's really labeled organic. We don't buy actually. Sorry to say, that California wine are really high in
in arsenic and
arsenic
sulfites.
and sulfites. But we are selling
Italian
here.
wine.
Oh, Italian. We have Australian wines that are
Australian wines are
Yeah.
low in sulfites and
it's labeled organic. When
organic.
it's labeled organic, it's low in sulfites.
Okay. I see. And of course, at one point, you were also born again. Were you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that
Up
was.
to now.
No, that was a turning point.
Yes,
Was that
yes.
a turning point?
Yes.
Yeah. So the spiritual.
Because that's why my lecture starts with salvation always. Because the meaning of being saved is the word sozo. And when you are saved, you are healed. The meaning of sozo is healed, delivered, made whole, redeemed, and doing well. So in a saved person, all of these 5 aspects have to manifest in our life. So number 1 is you are healed, because a lot of scriptures, especially in the New Testament, when Jesus was crucified, the number of lashes is the same as the classification of sickness in the medical book. By the stripes of Jesus, you were already healed. Okay, there are lots of promises of healing in the Bible. So number 1, it's really God's plan for us that when we are saved, that we can walk in this world as a testimony of health. And then part of it is redemption, part of it is wholeness, spirit, soul, and body. And then doing well is the last. So these 5 aspects of being saved is very important in wellness.
So you cannot say you are in a state of homeostasis or really well, state of health and wellness, unless you have that inner peace
Yes.
and joy, because as you said, joy,
It's part of it.
laughter,
Yes.
is part of the healing
Yes.
component. Well, thank you very much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Ho, for
Thank
giving us this time. And if you have more questions and comments, find your link with Seacrest Foundation, and we will also post the link for Rapha Valley. This is open Monday to Sunday.
No, we're open only on weekends for walk-in customers.
Mhm.
So from Monday to Thursday, you have to book at least 2 weeks ahead.
Wow.
Because I usually have talks. I'm invited all over the Philippines and sometimes abroad to do talks. So Monday and Thursday, you have to book ahead. But Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I always see to it that I'm here.
So the best time to come here is Friday, Saturday,
And
Sunday,
yes.
and you get to meet, talk, and be counseled even in health and wellness by our own Dr. Albert Ho here in Rapha Valley. This is your program host, Vilata Lopez Gonzaga, bidding you goodbye for now. I'll see you again next segment of our show. God bless you.